Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Namaskar, I am Nisha Sharma welcoming you at AICTE Insights, a diverse show on education, innovation, startups, scholarship, schemes and much more. On this episode of AICTE Insights, we will be having a brief discussion on AICTE approval process, a very important issue for institutes, students and stakeholders. We have Dr. Amit Datta, Director of Approval Bureau at AICTE to give you glimpses of the approval process. Dattaji is one of the core strength who work tirelessly to prepare the new approval handbook of AICTE. We welcome you to the show, sir.
Thank you.
As the approval process is a vast subject and cannot be covered in a single video, so we are planning to have a series of episodes on approval process to make it more understandable. In the first episode of AICTE Insight on approval process, I would like to question you, sir. Please update us with a brief backgrounder on AICTE approval process.
Thank you, Nisha ji. Namaste all the viewers. As you all aware that AICTE has already started the approval process. The approval process handbook, this time we have brought for the 3 years 24-25 to 26-27, and this has been unveiled on the 6th of December. And I am glad to share that first time we have placed the draft of the approval process handbook for the stakeholders feedback, and we have received about 1,000 of suggestions from the stakeholders, which has been incorporated to the maximum we have when we have come down for the final draft of the approval process handbook. The making the application for the approval process, the portal is already live for making the applications. Our new and existing institutions of engineering technology can make their application up to 31st of January. For the institutions who is offering BBA, BCA and BMS, first time they have been brought under the fold of AICTE, can create their application up to 26th of February. And for both the institutions, I just wanted to make one thing. The new institution has to apply through the National Single Window System. It's a small registration process, and after making their registration, they can be landed to the AICTE portal for their detailed applications. This is the process.
Well, all the important details will be mentioned on AICTE website, so you can check over there. Sir, my next question will be how AICTE is reaching out to the stakeholders for approval process 2024-25, and what is the plan in this regard?
Yes, Nisha ji, thank you. It's a very good questions, and as you all aware that the regional offices are closed for the approval processes. Hence, the AICTE has planned to reach out to the stakeholders for organizing the workshop at every regions. Recently, we have concluded one workshop in Bangalore, and the forthcoming workshops are like this. On 5th of January, we are reaching to Pune. The venue will be College of Engineering, Pune. Like 9th of January, we are reaching to Bhopal. The venue would be the Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering, Bhopal. And on the 9th of January, we are reaching to Hyderabad also, at Osmania University. And I am happy to share on the 10th of January, we are reaching to Kolkata and Chandigarh as well. And on 11th of January, we are reaching to Chennai. So, my request to all the stakeholders, please do make a use of these workshops where we are going to solve all your doubts. It will be a one-to-one interaction with our higher ups and the officers of the approval process. These are the way out. Thank you.
Well, this is a good strategy to ensure that all institutes should know what is the approval process. So, my next question would be, we know a lot of amendments and new provisions have been introduced in AICTE approval process handbook this year. Can you highlight a bit of new provisions or new amendments that have taken place?
Yes, there are certain things which are brought in this year's approval process handbook, like for the well performing institutions, they can open up their off campus. For the working professionals, they can upskill themselves for applying the next course. And for increase in intake, yes, of course, for increase in intake, the availability of infrastructure and subject to the appointment of the faculty is opened this year.
Sir, as the applying for approval process is online and therefore the documents which will be uploaded while applying is very important, is very crucial. The documentation is very important. So, can you please share what all the documents are required and how important they are for the approval process?
Yes, it's a very good and relevant questions, and it must be helpful for our stakeholders also. And particularly the institutes which are coming first time on the AICTE approval process, they should know the definitions about our technology terms like program. In AICTE, we use program words for the like engineering and technology, applied art and craft, hotel management, MCA, MBA. These are known as the program. And if we like to know about the course, so course means in engineering and technology, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, these are known as the course. And the level, of course, the level known as the diploma level, undergraduate level, postgraduate level, these terms are known as the level. So, while making the application on the approval process, the knowledge of these definitions is important. And of course, the applications are also classified in two categories. One is the new institution and the second is the existing institutions. So, while making the application on the AICTE portal, the applied intake is very important. For engineering and technology, the upper limit is the 360 for making the applications. And of course, the curiosity of our stakeholders for the computer application and the management, particularly BBA, BC and BMS. So, 300 would be the upper limit is for them to apply on the AICTE portal. So, stakeholders can refer our table number 1.3, which is mentioned in our approval process handbook, and the approval process is already available on the AICTE website, where they can directly refer this intake, the number of courses, the divisions which is allowed in the different programs and different levels. Of course, for the new institutions, the readiness of documents is very important. So, before coming and making the application on the AICTE portal, certain documents availability readiness is very important. So, I would like to mention here, as you can see on your screens also, for making the application on the chapter 1, if the institute is coming with the land ownership, so the building plan of the institutions which is mentioned in our certificate 2, very categorically it should be available with this, and the architect registered with the Council of Architecture, the licensed surveyor, for that the certificate 1 is available in our certificate format should be there. And of course, a very crucial thing, the permissions should be mentioned in our annexure 14, where the competent authorities are mentioned from whom they can sort the certain applications like the land certificate, the site plan, the building plan, which should be approved from the competent authority. And of course, the resolution of the applicant organization is also important, which should be in the format 3. So, these are the crucial things, and definitely a valid fire safety certificate issued by the competent authority is very, very necessary. So, these are the things which is required to be get ready before applying on the AICTE portal. And of course, the hard copy of the complete application as which is uploaded on the AICTE web portal should be uploaded. The registration of the trust, society, company, it should be available with them as mentioned in our certificates. For the standalone PGDM institutions, the detail of recommended composition of the board of governors of the institution constituted as per the annexure 17 of the approval process handbook. These are the things very much required to be available with the institution. In case of the company established under the section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, the MOA and the rules must be a provision that the objective of the company is not profit making, and any surplus earnings shall be used exclusively for the purpose of the development of the technical institutions. So these are the documents which are very much crucial and it should be available with the institution before making the application. If the institutions are coming in case of private lease land and the building, so the private land and the lease is also available. The original documents of the private lease registered between the lessor and the lessee with the competent authority under the Registration Act. And of course, the land conversion certificate issued by the competent authority is also essential. The title document of the lessor referring to its acquisition of the leasehold right through a lawful transaction. The encumbrance certificate to the property on a date not later than the date of issue of the notification issued by the council. So this is very important, the encumbrance certificate. The resolution of the trust society is also available. In case of sublease, the lessor should have the right to assign the leasehold right in the form of registered documents, and the mortgage of the land shall not be possible. And for the private lease of the building, if they are coming out for the lease of the building, so the complete building plan approved by the competent authority in case of a multi-storied where the certain floors only are leased, then the complete floor plan shall be prepared by an architect indicating that the details along with the complete building plan approved by the competent authority. And of course, the occupancy certificate, the completion certificate relating to the property floors issued by the competent authorities also should be available. The title document of the land referring to the acquisition leasehold should be available. Lease deed registered by the competent authority under Registration Act, and of course a valid fire certificate is also very important. So these are the documents which should be available before making application on the AICTE portal. The certificate regarding the minority status, if applicable, should be available with them, and of course the detailed project report should also get uploaded on the AICTE portal so that when it should be placed before the committee can see it. So the document to be submitted at the time of the expert visit committee, when the institute got qualified during the scrutiny process, so the documents which is required to shown before the expert visit committee, the copy of the advertisement in the latest one national daily for the recruitment of the principal, director and the faculty members. The proof of provision of internet bandwidth, it is already mentioned in our approval process handbook that the subject to the availability of the intake, in that ratio the internet bandwidth should be available. The list giving the titles of the books and the volumes of each purchase for the library, it should be available with them. The copy of the invoice cash memo for the equipment and library, it should also be available before showing the expert visit committee, and it is properly on the appropriate place on the portal, so it should be visible. Please make sure that these documents should be available at the appropriate place, which is already mentioned on the portal. And of course the sanction of the electricity load should also be available. So these are the very crucial documents for producing before the expert's visit. And of course the video recording is also essential for making the physical visit of the institutions. So the document to be submitted at the time of scrutiny committee for the closure of institution and starting a new technical institution in the same premises in the same year. So these are the very important things for the sake of the stakeholders. If they are closing down one and they are willing to open the same in the same year, so NOC is required in the format 2. The resolution of the trust is also required in the format 3. The latest salary sheet given details should also made available. The details of the FDR, if any, it is available with the AICTE. The status of the existing students already studying in the institution, because if they are closing down, so it will be a progressive closure. So how many students are trailing in that institution should be known. And the another thing, the document to be submitted at the time of scrutiny for the approval of the establishment of the institution by set up by the under section 8 companies. So Companies Act also say the certificate of the registration is important, the memorandum of association and article is also important, the certificate of incorporation is requirement, their PAN number, their TAN number, the company's general rules and forms, and NOC from the director or the promoters. So while applying through section 8 companies, please make sure these documents are important and it should be readily available with you. The minimum built up area. This is the common questions which stakeholders usually asked during our stakeholder workshops. So the institution area is divided into the instructional area, administrative area, and the amenities area. The access and the circulation area is around 25% of the built up area. The total built up area in square meter is equal to the INA plus ADA plus MEA plus ACA. So these are the very simple solutions are given. In case of allied branches in engineering and technology, a maximum of 50% of laboratories may be shared. For the postgraduate programs, administrative area of the undergraduate programs may be shared. So the institution shall have the barrier-free environment and the sports facility as specified in our chapter 7. For the instructional area, we have already mentioned in a tabular format that is available in the table 3.2.1, where the classroom size, the minimum number of classrooms required, it has a very small formula. The total number of division per year multiplied by the total number duration of course in a year into 0.5. So the outcome of this formula is the total number of classroom required. And of course, the carpet area is also mentioned, which is in the square meter, that is 66 square meter is for the division of 60 and 33 square meter for a division of 30. So the measurements and the expectation of number of classrooms is also very clear for the tabular in the tabular format. And the workshops availability, the availability of laboratory is also there. So it is very categorically mentioned that the 66 square meter carpet area is required for the laboratory, and for the tutorial rooms it is only 33 square meters. And of course the PG, the BCA and the BBA and the BMA institution should also have a clarity the requirements of the infrastructure. For the classroom, 1 per division per year, that is 66 square meter. The tutorial is 25% of total classroom, and for the management also the same requirements has been placed. So these are the minimum requirement, infrastructural requirement for the undergraduate programs in the computer application and the management. And the administrative area is also mentioned, it is minimum 750 square meters. The amenities areas also on the 500 square meters. And the computer software requirement also, the ratio, the computer availability ratio in engineering and technology is 1:10. For planning it is 1:6 for the undergraduate. For the design undergraduate it is 1:6. For computer application undergraduate it is 1:10, particularly for our BBA, BCA programs and the BMS programs. It is 1:10. So the institutions shall possess the adequate number of the system softwares, application software, including the plagiarism checking softwares, which should have a valid license. And AICTE is also promoting the one student, one laptop concept. So the availability of ICT infrastructure should be available in enough numbers. the LAN should be available, the Wi-Fi should be made available. So these are the requirements with respect to the ICT infrastructure. As far as the books and library facility also, we have categorically mentioned, and we have mentioned through a tabular format with a formula that total number of 50 titles should be available in the first year, and the volume is a simple formula 5 into total number of titles into B. B is nothing but the total number of divisions. How many numbers of divisions they have applied, so it should be multiplied to make sure that number of volumes should be available. And for the reading room facility, the 15% of the total students, and the maximum is 150 sitting capacity. This is the number. So this can be seen through our tabular representations also, and for the undergraduate programs also it has been already mentioned. The norms for the faculty requirements and the cadre ratio, that is faculty student, is based on the engineering technology 1:25, and the faculty, that is been the principal director is 1, the head of the department per department is 1, and of course the faculty is the S divided by 25 minus 1. So these are the small formulas been made to understand the requirement of the faculty also. For the engineering and technology it is 1:20, and for the management also it is 1:25. So these are the reasonably good student faculty ratio which is need to be maintained. And if in the due course of time, I mean last 3 years, if their admission are less, then definitely the faculty requirement will goes down, which is also mentioned in the tabular format. Suppose the sanctioned intake is 300 and they have only 130 student admitted. So of course the faculty requirement will definitely go down. It will be 60 into multiplied by 0.75. So outcome of this is going to be the faculty requirement. So as I have already mentioned, the introduction of off-campus is already available, and we have given the definitions. Those off-campus facility is available for the well-performing institutions. The criteria for well-performing institutions is like they should be placed in the NIF ranking, or they should have a QS World ranking, or they should have the minimum 50% eligible courses accredited through NBA, or they can have the NAC score 3.01 for the scale of 4, and or they can have the autonomous status by the UGC as an autonomy, or the institution should have 80% admission consecutively in the last 5 years. So these are the very important aspects which is brought for this year approval process. And for our existing institutions, the requirement for placing them before the variety of the application, if they are making, suppose the introduction, the conversion of diploma, to start a new program. So we have categorically mentioned what are the committee is required to look into these categories. So this approval process will have absolutely clarity about the each kind of application our stakeholders are making. So this is all about the approval process handbook, which have catered to need of the stakeholders.
Well, I think a lot of questions have been answered through your PPT, sir. And literally, sir, you have given a very detailed information about the approval process. Thank you so much for joining us. Before leaving, do not forget to follow AICTE on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp and Instagram to get all the important updates of technical education. Stay tuned to this space for more updates on important topics. Thank you. This is Nisha signing off from AICTE Studio.
Thank you.